What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Magic or Tragic. What did I witness last night with the Orlando Magic? It was definitely a magical moment last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But before I get into that, I want to touch on the Brooklyn game quickly. In the Brooklyn game, Aaron Gordon didn't play, and early in the game, Elfrid Payton left the game due to injury. I want to remind everybody that both those players were not given contract extensions for the upcoming years. So, from their point of view, it's early in the season. If they have these injuries or what could be nagging injuries, they're not going to want to play, make the injuries worse, which could affect their game, which in turn will affect their contracts down the road. So keep that in mind. Elfrid Payton, I think, has a hamstring. Aaron Gordon has a bad ankle. We want to watch those two and see how they progress and when they decide to come back and play, because they saw what we all saw, that they may not be as important as they think they are. When we're watching both those games, definitely Aaron Gordon, I could see he was missed. Isaac is so inexperienced defensively, and we're thin at that power forward position. Aaron Gordon has a little bit of leeway. Not saying that the reason they're not playing is because of contracts and whatnot, but it's got to factor in. They've got a new management staff that they're negotiating with. Things are just different for them. So if it is kind of like a power move, so to speak, or an insurance move from both these players not playing with injuries without a contract, then I can actually understand that. However, Aaron Gordon has a leg to stand on. This team needs that. Elfrid Payton, I'm not so sure. When I'm watching both these games without Elfrid Payton, myself personally, I'm not thinking, man, we really miss Elfrid Payton. Tell me if you guys were. When you're watching them play against Brooklyn or against the Cleveland Cavaliers, were you guys ever thinking at one point, man, we could really use Elfrid Payton? Anyway, let me get off of that. The Brooklyn game as a whole, defense was atrocious. Again, when the game got close, they attacked the paint, they attacked Vucevic, and we just didn't have an answer for that. Offensively, we did well. Obviously, Vucevic with a career-high 41 points. Doesn't surprise me now that he's shooting the three, and he's knocking them down, which is giving him even more confidence for his offensive game. So Vucevic is really blowing up. He's looking like the all-star Vucevic, and we need that. And I'm excited for him because he that type of play for him changes our team completely. Evan Fournier, again, consistent. He wasn't able to knock down that final shot, which I thought was a good shot. I'm not disappointed with the shot we got. He just didn't knock it down, and that happens. Shelvin Mack was a little bit down in that game to me. He needs to step up his play. Even in the Cleveland game, I think he had his up and down moments. He needs to step it up just a little bit. But the paint definitely got exposed against Brooklyn. So I'm going to preach that all season. The paint. We cannot stop people in the paint. They attack the paint. And we cannot get easy buckets. It's hard for us to get easy buckets in the paint. This is a jump shooting team. We love to shoot the ball. And when the shots aren't falling, that's when other teams make their run because we don't find a way to score. We're not good at getting to the free throw line and things like that. However, that's changing because of one player, and I'll get to him in a minute. But again, we lost to Brooklyn 126-121. The offense showed something. The defense showed it needed improvement. Isaac broke out his shell a little bit, had a nice game. However, it's just game two. It's still a lot of new players on this team. And Coach Vogel, had to kind of make shift at the last moment with losing Elfrid Payton on top of Aaron Gordon. Okay, so let's move into the Cavs game. Before the game started, myself personally, I wanted to see how we would respond, not to losing last night, but respond to playing the Cavs on the road. I knew, or I expected the Cavs to hit us, and I wanted to see how we would respond. Would we just duck and hide like we've done in most years and get blown out by 30 with the game not even be watchable, whatnot. Okay, so the tip goes up in the air, and from the tip, the Magic are on fire. The Vucevic and Evan Fournier combo, that pick and roll, that's going to be fire for the Magic all season. That's going to be very hard to stop, especially now with Vucevic being able to pop out and shoot that three. Look for that all year. The Vucevic and Evan pick and roll, very hard to stop. The offense was flowing. 3-point shots were falling from everybody, and they were good shots. Augustine's style of point guard, you know, I appreciate. It's not about him. Okay, again, and I'm going to talk about Elfrid a little. I'm not trying to bash Elfrid, but I've spoken on this before. Elfrid's style of play is extremely ball dominant. Everything goes through him. It's about him. If a play's going to be made, Elfrid's got to make the play, either on assist or whatever. With Augustine, it's different. Augustine paces himself. He makes sure everyone touches the ball. There's a flow, balls moving around, and he waits for the shot to come to him, and when it comes to him, he can knock it down. Augustine had a really nice game. 14 points, 11 assists. I think he had 4 rebounds or something like that. And very importantly, 1 turnover. Okay, only 1 turnover. Pushing the pace, doing the same offense that Elfrid does. And you could see the way the ball was moving, the way the offensive chemistry showed. You could see the offense just flourish. So anyway, we jump out to this big lead, and I'm expecting, you know, the Cavs to shut it down in a hurry. All right. So the second quarter comes. In the second quarter, we have on the floor Mack, Hezonja, Simmons, Afalo, and Biyombo. With the exception of Hezonja, who's almost like a veteran, that starting five is littered with veterans. We didn't have that in previous years. We didn't have that experience coming off the bench. So that lead we built, we were able to maintain it. All right. And these guys were a little bit better defensively, a little bit more active, and they got some nice shots, some easier shots. Okay. That continued in the third. Like, I'm watching this game and I'm waiting for Cleveland to just make their run. Like, when are they going to make their run? But in the third, it was more of the same. Vucevic and Evan on the pick and roll. Okay. They were just unstoppable. The way they can shoot the ball. Evan was making nice interior passes off the pick and roll to Vucevic down low. It just really looked great. Really looked good. Okay, and in the fourth, we had Hezonja, Simmons, Mack, Biyombo, and Spates. Spates had 10 points last night. Where did they come from? Somebody tell me that. That's why I love Spates. He just comes into the game and he does what he does. But Jonathan Simmons, 19 points. You know, one of my favorite plays of the night was in the third quarter. DJ banked a 3-point shot, and then Cleveland missed, coming down the floor. Simmons drove the ball, took it right to the hole, boom, easy layup. Cleveland had to call a timeout. At one point, Cleveland cut the lead to 7 points. Magic fans are watching this, and we're like, man, here we go again. But what a difference a year makes. Like the players I'm talking about, Simmons, Spates, Mack, Biyombo, Hezonja had a really nice game. They played well. They maintained the lead. They stretched the lead. Jonathan Simmons was hitting dagger shots. And the thing I loved the most about it was at first, when we had that lead, you know, we started shooting a lot of jump shots again, and it was bothering me. He started taking it to the hole. Boom. Take it to the hole. Boom. Get fouled. Get an easy bucket. That stuff demoralizes the other team when you have a big lead. When you have a big lead and the other team is doing everything to get back at it, and you have a guy that can just get to the bucket at will and make layups, that demoralizes them. And then Simmons started coming down and hitting the three. Started taking the jumper. Man, his game is so aggressive. He has completely changed his team. Not just him, but he has a lot to do with it. One of the best games I've seen the Magic play all year. Everybody really played well, and it was the longest streak, I believe, of 17 losses to one team, which is Cleveland, that was broken last night. So we finally got that monkey off our back. And the best thing I've got to say about the win last night, you know, after watching everything, Vucevic again, consistent. Evan, consistent. Isaac did pretty well. You know, I'm not expecting major numbers from Isaac. Every game is going to be a learning experience from him, but it still doesn't look too big for him, and he's still doing things out there that's helping the team. When, you know, defensively, Isaac, when he was starting with Vucevic, Isaac did a lot that you can't see that helps us defensively with Vucevic in the lineup, because teams like to attack Vucevic. But Isaac helped clean a lot of stuff up on the back end. This team is just completely different from last year. I can't believe it. But I just wanted to say, the best thing to me about what I saw last night against Cleveland is this. Nobody played out of characteristic. Yes, we won by 20 or 30, but nobody did anything out of the normal. If you go down the lineup, Vucci did what he did, knock down jumpers, boom. Hit the threes, boom. Evan did what he always does, nothing spectacular. You know, Simmons does what he always did. Biyombo came in, did what he always does. Augustine, not spectacular, he does what he always do. Everybody did what they always do. Even Space, there's a time in the game we're up like 20, you know? And somebody's driving and the ball gets kicked out to Space at the top of the key, wide open. Space knocks it down, because that's what he does. And the lead kept the same, kept extending. Cleveland couldn't come back on us. Everybody did what they normally do. So this wasn't to me, this shouldn't be a flash in the pan, one game wonder thing. The only player you can look at and said maybe played outside of themselves a little bit was Hazonia. But we've seen Hazonia have good games coming off the bench and play well, which is what he did last night. Everybody did what they normally did, and they stepped it up on defense. Man, so impressed from that game for the Magic. I hope it carries over. And they did that without two starters, in Elfrid Payton and Aaron Gordon. You know, I don't want to get into that. I have some opinions on those two, but it's too early in the season to get started. And I'm actually rooting for both of them. However, I think one of them has a better chance than the other to stick around after next year. Nonetheless, as far as this season goes, they can both help this team tremendously. Like, what I saw without those two has got to open a lot of people's eyes. It's got to get Frank Vogel excited. It's got to get the veterans that decided to come here excited. You like the fact that DJ Augustine is still playing well, carrying over from the preseason. Shelvin Mack is still a little up and down, but I'm not worried about him. He's a veteran. He'll find his niche in this team. Spates is doing his thing, a follow. Everybody who steps on that floor is doing something nice for the Orlando Magic. Even Ken Birch, for goodness sakes. Anyway, this is done. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you continue to listen, like, dislike, please subscribe. And if you comment, I'm curious to see what you guys think about how many games the Magic are going to win this year. So make sure you comment, leave that below, or comment about anything. Tell me what you're excited about. Next game up is against Brooklyn at home. Hopefully we get a little bit of payback. And until then, go Magic.